Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel as we are together to look out for these players, because you know right now the number one con is the romantic con. So we cannot be throwing caution to the wind with these dudes these days, because it's a lot of wannabe pimps out there. And Mr. Simon was big pimping as the Tinder Swindler. After watching that, I pointed out 5 concerns I had, red flags after watching that documentary. I discussed those in another video. You might want to check that out. I'll have it linked somewhere. Even though the director of this docu turned into a thriller, she said there were no red flags for these ladies. Felicity Morris, the director. She did a great job, by the way. But baby, let me tell you, the Tinder Swindler, Simon Leviev, he had my spidey senses tingling. And I'm telling you, I had concerns. So I am following up with some questions I came up with. I would have these questions for the swindler, even if he never asked me for a dime. I would have had some questions for him. A lot of ladies would have. You know, these are questions you also need to ask yourself if you come across someone like this. And these are questions that Cecille Fjellhoy could have asked herself. I'm not victim blaming here, but each decision we make in life has questions attached to it, with everything from what ice cream you're gonna eat to how you're gonna do your hair to what you're gonna wear. You know, you present questions to yourself. And the better the questions you ask yourself, the better decisions you can make. That's just the way it is. You just can't be throwing caution to the wind, especially now. This is a whole nother game going on these days with all this online scamming. And if she was my girlfriend, I couldn't even get to the other females. But if Cecilia was my girlfriend, I would say girl. Actually, if any one of them was my girlfriend, I'd be like, hey, ask yourself this. And anybody out there, if you cross paths with one of these wannabe players or even a well-rehearsed player like Simon, you don't want to be in no trick bag. You got to set yourself free. You got to shake them loose, okay? So you got to ask yourself questions so you don't have this mind job being played on you, okay? When one of these players is trying to get his hooks in you and they're professing this undying love for you and they're beginning this money scam, these kind of questions, not just what I'm asking, but these kind of questions can help you, whatever level the player is that you're dealing with, okay? But we're gonna use Simon as an example. So since he's supposed to be all that with this family that's connected to wealth, this man that's born into wealth, as long as he's been on earth all these years living a life of knowing only privilege as a billionaire, that's what he's saying, with all of his connections to other connected families, privileged families, all the favors that he could call in from this vast network of people he's known, his family has known for generations now, because him and his father are elite businessmen. So you have a problem with money, you run into some financial problem, and you ask this chick to rescue you financially. And I'm sure that she had to say, why don't you ask one of your associates? But I'm pretty sure it was like a little, you know, it was too soft. It had to be too soft. You know, you got to come strong. We're talking about your life here. And women, you got to be ready to let go of that sex, you know. And, you know, the boy hit the punani. If you thinking with your punani, it's going to be a disaster. You are in imminent danger. Is red flags going on. You gotta shake yourself. You gotta get back to reality. When these guys are professing this undying love for you, and deep down, you know, he's trying to play you or you're getting played, you gotta ask the questions. But you gotta be honest. If you're not honest with yourself because of sex, you know, that's the only thing that's really, really messing you up, whether it's phone sex or whatever. you're just going to be lost. Okay, you got to say, have you seen his neighbors? Have you been at his home? Have you seen the post arriving to his house? Have you been to where he hangs his full wardrobe? I'm not talking about hotels. I'm talking about the real deal. Have you seen family photo albums? Have you seen the family? Whether he likes his family or not. I'm not talking about the actors. You got to get past the superficial stuff. You got to see this man's hobby clothes or something. You know, everybody has that worn out t-shirt or sweatpants that's, you know, faded. It has a tear in it. Maybe you painted in it, and you know that you should throw it away. Everybody got at least one item like that. If you haven't seen that, then you're only watching a performance. You haven't got to the nitty gritty with that dude, okay? And it takes time. But, you know, if you haven't spent time where his family photos hang on the walls, you haven't seen his mother gardening or, you know, or seen his mother in the house dress, you ain't seen nothing. If you haven't seen this man's business partners, you haven't seen him during the normal course of business days and seen that unglamorous side of things, because everything has an unglamorous side. Every fine hotel, every fine restaurant, the greatest show, all businesses have guts to it that is not glamorous. Even Hollywood. You know, hotels, they have kitchens. You got to get behind the scenes or else you're not in the circle of trust, okay? You got to get, even the diamond business, you have paperwork, you have administration, okay? And Cecilia, did you ask or see any of these things? No, okay? He's never brought you anywhere close to where he lives, works, and chills, because he was only presenting fakery, okay? And another bonus, if he's selling you a line that it's all about you and him, and that you have some love created in heaven that other people only dream of, you know, of course, with no real evidence. The only evidence that she really had is that she's some kind of side piece. You know, even with the nice treatment, you're still a mistress to something because you're not in the inner circle of trust. You're living outside of his reality. You're just watching the show. So, lady, don't let this be you. Men, girls, don't let it be you. Do not get caught up in somebody's illusionary world unless you know what you're doing. You know, if you want to play in the metaverse based on fakery and you know what you're doing, okay. But sometimes we think we know what we're doing and we don't, you know. But this guy was a good player. And he did give these women some kind of enjoyment for their time. You know, he was sexing old girl. I mean, maybe not that much, but at least she got something. But that's a big price to pay for some male company. Now, if you think I'm adding value, hit the like button for me. Hit the like button for me. There's a lot of these men out here playing women. They always present themselves like they are a man of means, so women think they hit the jackpot to get them off their guard. And here's another thing to consider. Even if he was wealthy people commit crimes too. And if someone has access to money, that doesn't necessarily mean that money is theirs, okay? Many people have access to money. It could be their parents' money. It could be their brother's money. It could be their wife's money, okay? It could be that, you know, they just still live at home using their father's car, You got to get past the superficial. Actually, and if you're not impressed easily by money, these kind of things, it won't be so easy for you to get caught up in these kind of things. The main point is that you got to know how to slow down and ask yourself some questions. I could break down the whole film documentary. I'm thinking about it. But this might be enough. I just would like to say people should watch out for themselves out there, because it is a lot of game out here. And these con men, these hustlers, they are so cold and heartless. I have another story for you. It just had me shaking my head at how cold these people can be. Please do like, share in this video, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think, because that is the only way to get things done on YouTube. I do appreciate you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Do take care of yourself. Peace.